amazing, energetic, powerful Australian punk rock outfit, Amel and the Sniffers with Knifey, and just then Cash Savage and the Last Drinks with Rat-a-Tat-Tat. Richo, you're a big fan of Cash Savage?
Yeah, love them. Good, another great Melbourne band, really talented, as you can hear. Yeah, so my friend Gemma, who I mentioned before, she's right in the scene, in the Melbourne underground music scene, and she invited me along to them again. They played at Melbourne Uni in the grounds there, and with a band called Peep Temple, another Melbourne band, and it was just a beautiful setting because you got all these old, beautiful old English architecture buildings around, and I hadn't seen Cash before live, and just such a good band live. Better band live, I reckon, than on record. It's just so powerful, and and I've seen them probably half a dozen times since. And Cash, actually, she lives right near me on All Nations Park in Northcote, and bump into her there a little bit and at the gym. And she's such a talented songwriter.
Absolutely, man. I have to go there, but your infamous Pearl Jam story.
Well, it's sort of a bit of a show-off sort of story, but
not at all.
Fair enough.
It's been told, so I'll tell it again on this one because it's it seems pretty apt for this podcast. But I retired in 2009, and probably about 4 days after I retired, Pearl Jam were playing at Marvel Stadium. It was called Telstra Dome back then, I think. And the band that had the tour manager for the band before them, the Cosmic Psychos, was a Richmond supporter. And Ross, the singer from the Psychos, he used to wear a Richmond jumper because he's from up Kilmore, Wood End way, and the team up there is a Richmond jumper. So there was a bit of a Richmond theme backstage. And Eddie Vedder reads the paper whenever he's in town to see what's happening in that town. So when he gets out to the audience, he can, throw a few things around. And I was in the paper having just retired, and Eddie must have said to someone backstage, who's this dude, retired? And the tour manager who barracked for Richmond said, that's my team, and that guy used to play for my team. And Eddie said, I'll dedicate a song to him. So I'm at the gig.
Just normal Richo.
I've got no idea it's coming. And next thing you know, he dedicates Given to Fly to me, right? The Pearl Jam song. He called me Mark Richardson, mind you. but everyone knew who he meant. And I'm sitting there, and the people in our section are turning around, and and I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I was a big fan, and it was just unreal. Then he went off stage and came back and corrected himself and said Matthew. So I thought that was a nice touch as well. Anyway, we end up going backstage through our friend, and we thought all we want to do is shake his hand and get a photo. And anyway, we hung around for a while, and that happened. And I saw Ross from the Cosmic Psychos, who supported Pearl Jam that night, because Eddie and Ross are great friends. They're a great Melbourne punk band as well. And anyway, we met Eddie, had a photo, and I thanked him. And I'm like, that's night done. Couldn't be feeling any better. And Ross said, no, hang around. We'll go and have a beer with him. And I said, no way. He said, yeah, no, hang around. So I hung around. And next thing you know, I'm in a Tarago leaving Marvel Stadium with Eddie's driver, Eddie's security, and Ross from the Cosmic Psychos. And next thing you know, we're back at the Como in South Yarra where he was staying. We're out on the balcony drinking Coronas till 4 o'clock in the morning, talking about music. He's asking me about the footy. And they say never meet your heroes. He could not have been a better bloke than what he was. He didn't talk about himself. He asked you questions. That's always a good test, I reckon. Yeah, and I remember walking out of the Como at 4 a.m. after drinking with Eddie Vedder for 3 or 4 hours, and I was like on the most natural high drug, just adrenaline. Yeah. Got home, couldn't sleep, but it was a pretty cool night.
Surely that moment when he starts talking about Mark Richardson up on stage as a big fan of Pearl, that must have been almost the most jaw-dropping.
Oh, mate, I was feeling good about retiring. I was feeling good anyway because I knew it was the right time. So I was looking forward to life, and what was next. And then that happened, and then someone you've admired for a long time. We talked about that 95 show earlier. And, for that to happen, it was pretty cool, yeah.
Well, I think there's no better time to pass the Yorks and let you take us there with some Pearl Jam and some
Cosmic Psychos.
See you on the other side.